Welcome into this episode of Coach's Corner. Jordan Woodruff with you, and great to have you along. And it's kind of our year-end review, but instead of a year-end review, we're actually welcoming in the new for next year as we have the newly named Athletic Director for Ponca City Public Schools, Stoney Parks. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you for having us, Jordan.
And you've been doing coaching. You've been an assistant AD. You've had so many things over the years. Talk about now what it's like to step into this role.
It's been really interesting coming in. It's been really humbling to be a part of this great district. I've been here for, this is my 27th year, and working with a lot of great coaches, and just the overwhelming support after I was named really took me aback. Made me very thankful for the district that I've been in and that I've been loyal to and just love for so many years. It's been really a really neat time. I've really been hitting the ground running, so to speak, with all the different things that we need to do. But it's been I'm very flattered, very thankful for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to getting in the trenches with the coaches and getting after it.
You know, the interesting thing, you've been around so long with Ponca Athletics, and like I said, it seems like you've coached, been assistant or head coach at almost every sport, it seems like, at some point. But why the time now? Why did it feel right for you? And also, what did you learn from being around that for so long, now stepping into the role?
Well, one, I love athletics. I love kids. And the timing, it's kind of weird how it just worked out. I mean, to me, it was God's timing. I prayed a lot about it, and doors just kept opening up for me. I was talking with my wife, and I got to thinking about it. I'm like, I've either played or coached, or my kids played every sport that we offer at Ponca City.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I'm qualified with that. There's going to be a lot of different things that I still have to learn about with the behind the scenes kind of stuff of the athletic director. I learned a lot from being the assistant AD, built some really good relationships with all the different coaches, and I look forward to continuing that and just really trying to help us steer the culture, the programs where we have visions of going. So I'm looking forward to it.
You know, everybody always sees it as, you're dealing with parents, you're dealing with the kids, but, you think about a football game and events, right? You think about that. But I don't think people understand, and maybe it's the same for you actually stepping over, even though you've been an assistant AD, the administrative part. An athletic director, you're an administrator.
Absolutely.
And there is so much administrative stuff of setting in the office and making sure this looks good, making sure you get the training with this, all of that, on top of hiring, making sure that you're talking to parents, making sure you're doing what's right for the kids. So there's a lot more to it than what people think.
Absolutely there is, and that's one of the things that I'm learning about is that administrative side of it. Like I said, with the assistant AD, I was more with the coaches, and I was helped with supervision of the events. But the undertaking of putting on the Friday Night Lights football game, it's pretty, it's overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
And so got great people to work with that have really jumped in and really trying to help. So I'm looking forward to it. There may be some bumps along the way, but we'll figure it out and make it the best we can.
No, you probably have an understanding of those bumps because being around athletics as long as you have, you've heard them talk about that. You may have not done it, but you've heard it, so you kind of know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, I know. And like I said, with everybody that we have around us, it's going to be good. I look forward to it. The summer it's a busy time, but I'm already looking forward to school coming back and getting the fall sports ready to go. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, and one thing that I think is always important, and if you're around athletics, even when I was in college athletics, the administrator at the front door, which you have, Ashley.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So important. Yes. And for you, she was new with Joe when that kind of come in. But now you're with her, and she's got that experience. So it's one of those things, you've already worked around her. So you have a great person there to really help you out up front.
Oh, absolutely. Ashley is... she's behind the scenes. Everybody loves Ashley. She does a great job. She literally knows everything. And if she doesn't, she can find it especially with me being kind of an older guy. I had someone say I was long in the tooth with an interview, and that's a true statement. She helps me with everything, computers especially. But she is outstanding. So thankful to have her to work with.
Well, I know some young coaches that aren't very good with the computers and some of that stuff. So let's don't go with that. But what's the biggest thing right now? And I would imagine on your plate, this moment has to be some of the hiring process, because everything was kind of coming out, I guess you would say, with the coaches saying we're leaving as you're coming in. So that's kind of point one. You got to make sure you have those coaches, because they're the administrators of their sport, right?
Absolutely.
So you have to get them in place. So I imagine that's been the brunt of your job for the past couple of weeks.
Oh, it has been. We've started the interview process. Right now we have a boys basketball job. We have it filled. Pending board approval, Ben Lutz will be our boys basketball coach. Very excited about that. Looking forward to his leadership, his stability. And then we also we have baseball that needs to be filled, boys wrestling that needs to be filled, tennis that needs to be filled, as well as with assistant coaches. So I have a very busy front end of the summer to do a lot of hiring.
You know, and that brings up the other thing is you have the coaching part of it, right? It's the head coaching, quite a few of those positions open, but sometimes we forget about the assistant side of things. But there's also the work in with the school as well with some of that is, what are they good at? What can they go teach? What can they be? So there's a lot of back and forth with administration, not just with athletics, but also what's going on the educational side of with this hiring process. So it's not just, hey, I like this person.
Absolutely.
We can do this. You got to look at more than that.
There's definitely more pieces to the puzzle of bringing one coach in. We've got to find, like you said, the fit for them for teaching, having the different sites that we can work with, and then they in turn have to try to figure out their master schedules of having them, the coaches have that last hour off. It's definitely not as easy as just say, hey, I'd like to have this person over here. I wish it was that easy, but it's not.
It would be easy if it was like that. And then, we put the finishing wraps up on seasons out there, and, graduation coming up. But when you look at what the one thing going on right now, and you'll have the dead period so that people can do some stuff here and there, but with the big thing going on right now, spring football,
absolutely.
Right?
Spring football,
I always think spring football is interesting because football coaches, usually they're a collection of a lot of other head coaches from other sports, and they all finally get together there on the football field. So that's the big thing going on right now is that spring football as far as athletics for the kids is concerned.
Yes, absolutely. Looking forward to it. They have to wait till the last spring sport is finished to be able to start, and so they've had a couple of days in. Talked with Coach Rowland just today. He's super excited, looking forward to next year. He was already telling me about some rotations with some of the different players. We're really looking forward to next football season. Got a whole lot of experience coming back. It's going to be an exciting time on Friday nights. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to schedule. We've got that too. So we'll be starting that late August. And it's a little different because there's only 6 teams in a district. So you only have 5 district games, 5 non-district games, which makes it actually, you think, okay, that's good because everybody's going to make playoffs. That is a good thing, right? You're going to make playoffs. But at the same time, it's hard on the scheduling part of things. And I know with everything that was moving around, that was kind of one of the things that had to get ironed out right away was getting that schedule figured out because when you're having to fill 5 non-district spots instead of just the traditional 3, those 2 more games sometimes be tough to find.
It's definitely tough to find. And it was kind of, like you said, it was a little late with Enid going to the independent route that kind of threw some schedules in limbo. And so Coach Rowe, he did a great job of finding a good schedule. We got some tough games. I was glancing at the schedule. I haven't had a real good chance to really dissect it, but our district's going to be tough.
Stillwater back in the district too.
That's always good to get to face Stillwater, an old rival. So that'll be a big game to circle. Got Muskogee, Sand Springs, tough teams, but teams that we feel very confident we're going to be right in the game and should win the games.
Yeah, and a conversation for another time, but kind of get the surface is you're coming into a time that is interesting when it comes to Oklahoma athletics because I don't think there was a lot over the past, until about 5 years ago, there was always changes, but it wasn't like status quo changes, right? And while we're in this area where we're starting to see major changes in athletics, you think about NIL in college. We're seeing some of that in high school.
Absolutely,
we're seeing
yeah.
stuff with the transfers that are going on across the state. The idea of education in Oklahoma, trying to help that. How does sports involve in some of that? So you're coming in as an AD, even though you got 27 years experience here in Ponca City as a coach and seeing all that. You're coming in as an administrator at a very interesting time when it comes to athletics, not just in Oklahoma, but across the nation.
Absolutely. The landscape is definitely changing. It's and like you said, it's just literally in the last few years, the NIL, the pretty much open transfer. It's definitely, I'm going to get a good relationship with the OSSAA, making sure that we're above board and doing everything that we can. And we can't be set and stuck in our ways. We've got to be ready to change on a moment's notice and evolve. And at the end of the day, it's what's best for the kids, and we're trying to do that. And I know that the OSA is trying to do that as well, and our state as far as education.
No, and that's the thing, is like we had the deal about the different dealing the OSSAA and the state house and Senate. You had that at one point this year. You think about these changes with these teams going independent. How does that go into other sports?
Absolutely.
Like I said, it's you think about the big picture, but even the small picture when it comes to itself. Like I said, 16 district next year. We don't see that.
No.
You don't. Like, I remember some smaller schools you maybe had that, but in 6A football, I don't know if we've ever seen 16 districts probably in the past 40, 50 years.
I don't remember that at all. Honestly, when the first time I looked at the districts, I was taken aback. I'm like, wait, they misprinted. Because
right, me too.
Well, I'm like, wait, we should have at least one more. And so talking with Roll, and it's pretty crazy, just the way things have changed so quickly like that.
All right. I always think this is an important question to ask, and I think we've asked this with new people that have come in, right, over the past. But with you being an assistant AD, the fact that you've been here 27 years and you've coached and you had kids that are involved in every sport, or you coached in those sports, you've got a wide picture view of everything that's gone on in decades of that experience. What is the one thing, or maybe a couple of things, you sliding into this role that maybe is your goal, like what you want to accomplish? You think about, and I know you got to think about this, and it's a loaded question, but at the same time, when you're done being the AD, what do you want that legacy to be? What's the goal? What's the thing that you want to Ponca City to maybe do with the athletic department?
I've been thinking about that a little bit here recently. I truly want, when a team sees the Ponca City bus roll in, I want them to know that they're going to have to play one of their best games. Win or lose, I want our kids to be accountable, to hold each other accountable. I want us to be workmen. I want to work hard at everything that we do, take nothing for granted. We've got a great group of coaches that work hard, and I want to continue that. I want that culture of where we love each other. We're one big family throughout all the different sports. And I just truly believe that we can do that, and we have been doing that. I just want to continue alongside that with them to continue that trend. But like I said, I want them to think when they see Ponca City, they know they're going to have to fight to get a win.
I call it a blue-collar mentality.
Absolutely.
And, we got our blue, right?
Yes,
so, I mean,
yes.
it makes sense. But, there's schools schools take on the personality of the environment they're in, right?
Yes.
Ponca City's a blue-collar community. We've had some stuff happen that, with business leaving and stuff.
Yes.
And we've had to get through that. Mm-hmm. So you almost got to embody that in your culture, in sports and school and everything else. And that's when I've seen the success in Ponca City sports in the time I've been here, is when the coaches and the team take on that, hey, we're going to work hard. We may not win them all. We're going to work hard. They're going to have to work their tail off to beat us. And then on top of that, we're going to all love each other. And we may have our squabbles. We all do.
We do. Yeah,
but at the same time, we know we're all going in the same direction. Yeah. And that's that blue-collar mentality.
Absolutely. That's what I want. Getting ready for football season, I think of Rolo, and I mean, who doesn't love Rolo, but that is his. He is in the trenches with those kids, with his coaches, working. And we've got a lot of coaches that are like that. I mean, football, that's everybody loves football. And so, but I look forward to getting in there with the coaches and helping them any way that I can, and being a support system for them to be able to get that done.
All right, last thing for you here. What have been some of the text messages, phone calls, things like that have happened over the past weeks or so since people heard that you've migrated into this role? What has that been like for you?
It's been awesome. Some of my old coaches, family, honestly, it kind of choked me up a little bit. Friends that I've had here at Ponca for such a long time. Miss Barbara Cusick, she was my first principal at West when I was just a punk kid coming in to teach. She's been one of my greatest champions, and I look up to her. She was my favorite principal. I had a lot of great principals, but she was my first. She was my favorite.
We always go to that
Absolutely.
one, right?
She was my girl, and honestly, just it was very humbling, and I am getting long in the tooth, and it was neat to see that people took the time to reach out to me, that told me that I'd made a difference in their life, and that's the most rewarding thing of being a coach for this long. Seeing those things, seeing the kids, it's been really awesome.
You get 2 hours a day for 4 months of the year with a kid practicing, right? I mean, that's really it, and then the games and all that. But the relationship you create throughout the life, that's the most rewarding thing as a coach.
Yes, absolutely. I think of Jeremy DeNoia. He was a sophomore my first year here in 1999, and he's still. We've went through a lot of, as his coach. Now we're friends. We're coworkers. Things like that. And
he still won't let me. He still tells me about how good they were.
And he was good. I'll tell you that. He could swing the bat with no joke. So, and being at Ponca for so long, seeing Sean Tagliatella and the spot that he's in and all the different positions, it's really cool to see being at this.
Well, sometimes they can make you feel old, right?
Oh, it's absolutely. I tell people the gray is not dyed; it is real.
But I think you're in good enough shape. You may be able to take on a few of them still.
No thanks. No thanks.
Well, hey, big congratulations! Really excited about this, and looking forward to see what you do with Ponca City Athletics. Okay. And I know right now it's getting everything in place for that next year, and I look forward to talking to you next year once you have that in place, and we can look forward and more about what's going on for those kiddos coming up that next school year.
That sounds great. Thank you, and thank you for everything that you do for us.
No, I appreciate you. Yep. Stoney Parks, new athletic director here at Ponca City High School, and that's going to do it for our Coach's Corner for the year. I want to say thanks to all the coaches that come in, all the sponsors, of course, Chris behind the camera doing everything all year long. And looking forward to next year as football season. It will be here before you know it, and even before football, softball, volleyball gets started there in July. So looking forward to that. So have a great summer, and we'll catch you next time here on Coach's Corner. Jordan Woodruff saying until then, so long, and go Cats.